Hello and welcome to the Chic Shed, and today we're going to continue with our wardrobe analysis, and this time we're going to look at body type and body size and being a lot more body confident. I think a lot of women, when they reach a certain age, often give up because they feel that they cannot wear the fashions that are now on display in the shops. Their figures are so different, and when they do try clothes on, it only leads to sort of desperation because what they like they can't get in their size, or just that what they put on just doesn't flatter them in the way it used to. And one of the things I'd say is, of course, we cannot go back to the figures we had when we were 18 or 19. Only a very few women are lucky enough to keep that figure. But even there, the body shape changes, the fat distribution changes, and we do have to dress in a way more appropriate with those body changes. However, that doesn't mean discarding everything fashionable and everything that you like and what you see in the shops. It just means being a little bit more honest with yourself. And what I'd like to do today is to get you to look at your wardrobe and decide truthfully, do these clothes fit me? Do they flatter my body shape? Are they making my heart sing? And do I spend all day feeling very comfortable in them? And if the answer is no to all of those, or to some of those, then look at those clothes again and decide whether or not they're really worth keeping in your wardrobe. I think we all long to have the bodies that we once had. Maybe some of us might think our bodies are better now than they were when we were younger. But on the whole, you know, we cannot go back to that shape we had when we were 30 years younger. And who would want to? You know, I think sometimes we're more confident now as we get older, and we can get away with things. We don't care so much about what people think. So this is a great time to start looking at your wardrobe, enjoying it more, but actually having the knowledge that whatever you're putting on you is comfortable, relaxing, and makes you feel your best. So I would say a good exercise to do to start with is actually to strip down to your underwear, get a mirror that's full length, and spend a little time acknowledging your body and looking for what is good about it. I think so often when we take our clothes off, put it in our underwear, we don't like looking at ourselves because we can see lumps and bumps that were never there before. We can see a woman that is aging, and it's not a very nice experience. But if we can look at ourselves and say, okay, you know, I've reached a certain age, this is the body I have now, but I know there are some good things about this body. So I want you to find 3 things that you like about your body now. And just to give you an example, I think things like some women I've seen who are always criticising themselves and saying, oh, I wish I looked better. I often notice they've got beautiful hands. Or some women have an amazing neckline, swan-like neckline. Other women have lovely straight shoulders. Some of my more curvaceous friends have enviable waistlines. So it's looking for 3 things that you think are good about you. And in my case, I hate anything like that. I don't like looking at myself. And for many years, I had body dysmorphia. I would see myself as much bigger than I was. So coming to terms with my body and actually praising it is not very, it's not an easy thing for me to do. But once I did it, once I actually looked at my body and I decided that there were things about it that were actually very good and had served me well. So I think of my smaller wrists, my lovely long legs, my slim arms, and I think those are 3 factors that I really think are good about myself. Once you've done that and noted it down somewhere, then go back to your wardrobe and think to yourself, now do I truly, truly fit that size 12, that size 8 or 10? Or had I just bought the size I really wanted to be, or I was many years ago? I've seen many women struggle in the changing rooms to squeeze into a 12 when quite clearly her body shape had sort of grown a little bit, had filled out a bit, and those size 12 trousers were too tight in the bottom, too tight at the crotch. They made her uncomfortable, but she was determined to squeeze into them and walk away with them. And that's not a good thing to do. If she'd gone to 14 and got trousers that draped or skimmed her body, it would have been a lot more flattering. So forget about the sizing, forget about those labels. In fact, the best thing you can do for yourself is when you buy a piece of clothing that fits you beautifully, cut the label out so that you're not reminded about the size. No one but you is going to know that size anyway. We don't walk behind people and look at their labels. So when we see someone in a garment that fits them really well, we assume that they are either lost weight or that they're looking really good. So sizing, forget about it. Another thing I'd like to say is in a lot of the shops nowadays, some of the sizing varies so dramatically that you can't actually rely on any particular size. You have to try 3 or 4 sizes. And I would say if you're a size 14, for instance, or a 16, look at an 18 and look at a 12. Go for a smaller size and a bigger size and the one you think you are. Because it's when it's on you, that's when you need to look at it and say, does this fit me? Not, oh, it's a 12, it's got to fit me, or if it's 14, yes, that's my size, or oh my goodness, I'm in a 16, how depressing. No, what's important is that piece of clothing really does something for your body shape. So that's the first thing I'd like to say, get rid of all sizing labels. The second thing I'd like to say, the last thing, is that if you want to make the best of your body shape, you must do what a lot of continental women do, and which British women, I'm afraid, are not so good at doing, and that is spending money on a good bra. I've seen so many women whose figures have been spoilt simply because they're either not wearing a bra when they should be, or they're wearing a bra that is having breasts spilling out over the top or underneath, or it's just giving them no support at all. And as we know, when we get older, gravity pulls everything down, including our bust. And I know that although I'm very small in terms of the breadth around me, I have a very full bust, and if I don't support it with a good quality bra, then it all falls down and gives me a very short-waisted look. And I've found the best piece of advice I ever got was from a lady in Spain when I went into a boutique that was purely for underwear, and she was so well trained in sizing women for their bras and their pants. She just knew by looking at me what my size was, and the difference in putting a bra on correctly, because she showed me how to go into it. You fall into your bra, you make sure that the boning isn't cutting into breast tissue, and that you have straps thick enough to support the weight of your breasts. And once I got that bra on, it was magic. Everything seemed to lift. I felt more comfortable, my shoulders were much more comfortable. I wasn't being left with wheels down here, and all my clothes looked so much better. So the second thing I'd suggest you do is to invest in a bra that is your size. And I don't mean going to the local shop or even a supermarket and buying a bra, but when lockdown ends, go to somewhere like Ribby and Pella. It might seem very intimidating. It is actually money well spent, and they can give you bras that are less than £60 and yet are superb. And I find that if I've got 2 bras on the go, they last me 6 to 9 months, and it's money well spent. The best piece of money I have spent in terms of making me look youthful and making my clothes look better. And finally, I'd like you to look at the shape, the overall shape. Not how much flesh you put on there or on your arms, but look at your shape. I know that I have got slightly rounded shoulders. I have got a straight waist, not much of waist definition because I'm long. I'm a sort of long and column-shaped person. And I know that there are some women who say, well, I carry all my weight on my hips, or I carry all my weight on my bust, or I've got very stocky legs. We're going to, in my next video, talk about the different body shapes. But today, just get an idea. What is it about your body that you can see in terms of shape? I see a tall, slim lady now, not the great big chunky tree trunk that I thought I was. So that's another important thing to bear in mind. And I'm going to show you just how shape is important, and understanding your shape is important when buying clothes. I have a jacket. I thought, and I love Chanel. I love all the Chanel clothes, and I wanted to look like a Chanel lady. And what unfortunately I didn't realise is I don't have the shape for Chanel clothing. It's just not really suited to me. I know you see tall models in it, but my larger bust, fuller bust, my long tall body does not go with this. So I'm going to show you. I'll have to remove my scarf first of all because you need to see the neckline on me. But once you see the jacket, where I point out some of the things that it doesn't do for me, you'll realise how buying the wrong shape of clothing can really make the worst of your figure. So this is my Chanel jacket. I really wanted to be the chic petite lady, but I can't. First thing I noticed is it's got a very rounded collar. And if I take my overall body shape, it's quite angular. Although I've got the fuller bust, the rest of me is quite sharp boned and angular, and a rounded, softened collar like this does nothing for me. Even worse, the pockets are placed right across my bust line, making me look very wide, including silly little pearl buttons that still end up there. And if I pull it together, you can see that the design, the pattern, the material is doing nothing for me. It's just making me look very boxy and very wide. The fact that it's small falls on my waistline emphasises the fact that I don't really have a waist. So this jacket, unfortunately, whatever I do with it, putting scarves with it, whatever, shirt underneath, it's not going to do anything for me. It even emphasises like sloping shoulders here. So there's nothing in this jacket that really makes the best of my shape. So it has to go. And I think if you go through your wardrobe and you're quite honest with yourself and you put the garments on you and you look at them in comparison to the shape you are, then you will see why you don't like wearing those garments, why they always end up tossed in the back of your wardrobe and they're not the regular outfit that you bring out. I know that I'm always reaching for my straight leg trousers, my t-shirts or my shirts that have a slightly lower scoop or even a v-neck. In fact, because I'm quite angular, sharp lines, v-necks, collars up look great on me. So next week I'll send in a video that talks about the different body shapes. But for now, I want you to celebrate the body you have. Rejoice the fact that it's seen you through all these years. It's seen me into my 60th or 65th year coming up very soon. And I am very proud of it and very grateful to it. So I want to dress it the best, and I want to be able to go out there and not feel restricted or tight or uncomfortable in my clothing, but free, so that I can enjoy my day and know that my clothing is making the best of me. Thank you very much.